Hello and welcome into the RotoWire esports show. I'm Andrew Laird, joined as always by Ethan Sexton today to talk about Tuesday's 2 Series LPL slate. Ethan, we had Chalk City on Monday and kind of looks like Chalk City on Tuesday.
Yep, yeah, for sure. Things definitely went how we expected them today, except for, you ended up needing 4 JDG to have the winning lineup, and I leaned towards 4 RNG. Just based on the two matchups, basically. But, I mean, not like a huge shock or anything like that. Obviously, we saw the two favorite teams take care of business and sweep in pretty straightforward fashion. So, on to Tuesday, and like you said already, to your point here, looks on paper like it's going to be the same deal, right? So,
I think at least for the quick on Monday, I guess we expected E-Star to put up enough of a fight because they can. But I guess the difference in quality was just way too high, whereas JDG had to work a little bit, but when you have to work a little bit, then you can get enough kills to pay off and not have to rely on the humongous favor just blowing out whoever they're playing because you have to do a little more. That doesn't seem... I mean, I guess it's a little bit like Tuesdays. The favorites are bigger than they were on the Monday slate. Stop me if you've heard this before. We have a new biggest favorite of the season.
Every day, right?
Every day.
Every day it just keeps going up and up.
Yeah, so FPX, when I last checked, they were minus 1642. To the 94% win odd against LGD, and then we have top around just under minus 700 against BLG. I guess if you want to compare it to the Monday slate, FPX LGD is more like RNG E-Star, and then TES and BLG closer to the JDG Victory 5. But, I mean... I don't think anybody's going into the slate let me make sure I can get LGD, even with FPX struggling lately. I imagine if you're going for an underdog, it's BLG.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think it's just like you said, FPX have had a little bit of a slipperier time lately. I think we can give them a little bit of shtick for losing to Rare Atom, but other than that, they've really only lost to the other top teams.
Yeah.
For the most part. So they're coming off that Rare Atom loss. But at least Rare Atom are a decent side. They're in fourth place right now. Honestly, their record's great, 8-3. They're playing really well. So. Rare Atom are actually a pretty solid team, whereas, we know LGD are a pretty, maybe the best of the bad teams, but they're still a bad team, right?
Right.
They really can't beat the teams in front of them. They can only really beat the teams that are lower than them in the standings, of which there aren't too many of, you know what I mean? I think even though FPX are looking a little shaky at the moment, I think they probably are deserving of being the biggest favorites on the slate and are in a pretty good spot to really just sweep aside LGD tomorrow without much issue, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think LGD is one of the teams where you don't really need to worry about FPX. I mean, I say that, and they obviously could lose. Things happen, but if it was another decent team, I think that's when we start. If they were playing BLG, then maybe we're well, maybe. I mean, they're still strongly favored against BLG anyway, but
right.
I think the real consideration on the slate is: do you want a long stack top or Fun Plus Phoenix?
Right, and so you said today, or you said the slate for tomorrow is FPX are in the RNG spot, and I would have thought that RNG would have been the highest scoring team on this morning's slate. Which obviously wasn't the case. So it does make it a little bit trickier. FPX have the, on paper, easier matchup, but it doesn't always work out that the easier matchup is the one where we get the most points out of, right? I agree with you. I think BLG have some upset potential, but I'm not expecting it. Top were pretty shaky there for a while, but they've really righted the ship as well. So it's hard to imagine that they're going to drop this series. So yeah, I think it comes down to, who do you want to long stack between FPX and Top Esports? And, I think Top have the harder matchup, but I also think they've looked better of late.
For sure.
So that's really where the decision needs to come down to for tomorrow. And, it's not that straightforward, I guess. So it makes it a little tricky. Do you want to double jungle? Do you want to double support? If you think the kill participation is going to be there, those are kind of the angles, in my opinion. Or do you want to take a shot with one of the underdogs and just go for leverage on a 2-game slate, which is never like a stupid thing because there's only 2 games, and if you get the right upset, you're getting way out ahead of the field.
I'm not even sure. Like, I'm in the boat of that. I don't think either underdog wins, and so now it's like, do I think it's just like we were talking about yesterday? Do I think some sort of one-off from one of the losing teams is going to make me if that allows me to get Jackie Love and LWX, does that pay off for when I get 2 points from Cult?
Yeah, we've seen it work on past 2-game slates, right? So can't completely rule it out, but it's just like, I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine if there's going to be 2 sweeps tomorrow, which seems pretty likely that a one-off is really going to make pay off enough. I don't know. It's tricky because all you need is really for the one-off player for his team to win 1 game, and it works out, right?
Right.
But it's just hard for me to imagine that either BLG or LGD are going to come away with a win tomorrow. So it's tough for me to get behind it, even though we have seen it work sometimes. It's just, I don't know. I'm not sure it's worth getting like 5 points out of your one-off, and then your AD carry doesn't get the point total you expect them to. Like on today's slate, Gallo was only involved in 8 of 28 kills in the series. So if you would have done that on today's slate, you would have been really annoyed with yourself, right? Because his kill participation was horrendous. So I'm not saying that that'll happen again. And LWX and Jackie Love are 2 of the best AD carries in the league, and have really high kill totals, right? So I'm not saying it's like a stupid thing to do, but it's a thing that I'm probably not going to do.
That's fair. Is there a player on the slate you definitely want?
I think it's LWX. I like both Jackie Love and LWX, so you can make an argument either way. But it feels like LWX is the guy that's really getting just all the kills on this FPX team. Not to say that Doinb or like Nuguri can't put up decent kill total games themselves, but it's just LWX seems to be the main carry threat. Although they really, when they're clicking all together, they play a really dominant 3-lane style. So any of those guys could pop off for the most kills, but I really like LWX's chances to be the highest scoring player tomorrow. I think he has the best matchup. I think he gets the majority and bulk amount of kills on this FPX team. So I'm kind of leaning him over Jackie Love, but I think both 80 carries should be, pretty good point scorers tomorrow. So can't really say it's a bad idea to go for either one. So really whatever people's personal preference is really not a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a garbage question because obviously you want both of them.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to get both of them,
no.
Right? Unless you get the one-off, like you were saying. If you go that route, then you probably can. As my voice cracks there, I'm over 30 years old. Sorry, I swear. Yeah, for me, I just think it's LWX because I think the matchup is better. So if I have to pick between the 2, which I do, I think my prioritization is gonna probably go to him, but can't really fault anyone who feels strongly about Jackie Love either, right? So you're probably only, unless you're going to one-off or you're playing an underdog team, you're only going to be able to get one of them in your lineup. So it's really whatever, nitpicking one side versus the other. I think both are going to probably end up scoring quite well tomorrow.
Sure. Do you think there's anything to playing the same the same team from your AD carry or your mid laner? Like, if you play Jackie Love, are you more likely to play Knight, or are you more likely to diversify that just to try to get more? Like, do you play Jackie Love and Do and B, or does it not? Does that not really go into your thought process? Obviously, that's if you have a support line or captain or something like that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think that makes I think the way you pose that makes sense, and it's not something I've really thought of before. But yeah, I mean, it does kind of make correlative sense to play an AD carry from one team and then the mid laner from the other team, because then you can hope that they both get the highest amount of kills on their individual teams, right? So it is. I never really thought of it that way before, but yeah, it is kind of correlative in that sense. I think it's more. I haven't really ever done it like that, but I could see why that would make sense. So it's a cool idea actually that I haven't really thought of. I think usually I just I try to get the mid laner and the AD carry that I think are just gonna score the most points.
Right? No,
of course,
but it makes sense
because of course that's what we do, right? But I haven't ever really taken into account I think that taking an AD carry from one team and the mid laner from the other. It's more just if I think FPX are going to be the highest scoring team on the slate, then I'm fine taking both LWX and Do and B, or vice versa, if I want to do it with top. Sometimes, though, I do. It's not so much I have the AD carry from one team, so I want a different mid laner, but it might be I'm trying to think of a good example, but if I don't know, if say BLG were playing Rogue Warriors or something, and then Invictus Gaming were playing a better team than Rogue Warriors, but still a team we think they're going to beat. So sometimes, and this might just be inherent bias, I'm not sure, but it might just be if those two teams are expected to win and both are expected to sweep, even though BLG are playing Rogue Warriors, the worst team in the league, I still might take Rookie just because I think Rookie is a much better player than Zika. So sometimes that goes into my consideration for that as well. But I do kind of like that. It's a cool idea and a good point that you brought up, because it would actually be a bit more correlative, or a better idea to take one carry from one team and one carry from the other team, right? Because then you can at least hope that Team A's mid laner is going to get 10 kills, Team B's AD carry is going to get 10 kills, and they'll both be the highest scoring in their role on the slate. Because it can only be one, right? So obviously, teams could, Do and B and LWX could have the same amount of kills, but that doesn't happen a ton, right? So yeah, it's a cool idea, man.
I don't know if it works. I'm going to have to look into it, though, because I don't know. Maybe it's better to diversify on such a small slate, just because I feel like you generally see people play AD carries and mids from the same team just because we're oh, long stack, just get the 4 guys who score the most from that team, and maybe we should be diversifying. I don't know. We'll find out.
It's not a bad thought. I don't think it's a bad thought at all. It's a cool idea and way to think about lineup building, honestly. So yeah,
we'll see. All right. If you guys have any feedback on that or any other questions, feel free to leave a comment below. If you've enjoyed the video, if you could please hit the like button so we can see that, as well as subscribing to all the RotoWire videos to get those directly onto your subscription page. If you want to support the videos that we do, if you could just subscribe to RotoWire. Just go to rotowire.com/subscribe for that. And if you want to try us out for 10 days for free, no credit card required, just go to rotowire.com/pod. Like I said, 10 free days to the site, all the sports we cover, and access to our subscriber Discord chat. Ethan, thank you for that, and good luck on Tuesday.
All right, same to you, man. Talk to you tomorrow.